right. Hey, welcome everybody. Chris Petri here. Thanks for coming by. If it's your first time, hey, welcome. I'm really happy you're here, that you've come by, you found my channel. We're doing great watercolor paintings here. We're doing lots of different ideas on watercolors. We happen to do a little bit of offbeat things once in a while, and this is one of them. We're doing occasional cards, which we don't do all the time, only once in a while. But you're going to have a fun time doing these. I'll show you exactly how to make them. You can make them for any occasion, birthdays, holidays, thank you cards, whatever you want, it's there. You can create your own cards. Whatever subject matter you want to put into those, you can do that. You can paint flowers, landscapes, seascapes, boats, whatever you want to paint on your occasional cards. That's fine. You enjoy it. You have a good time with it. We'll just zoom in here a little bit on this one. And this is the one we're going to do here. This is a beautiful landscape. So I'm going to zoom in like this so you can kind of see what we're going to do here. Beautiful purple mountains, pine trees, a gorgeous cabin in the distance here, over here across the way, across the lake here. So we have a lake, some trees, we have a cabin, some distant purple mountains, and a gorgeous sky. So you're going to paint this. You're going to have a fun time. I explain everything step by step here on this video. And then I'm also going to show you how you can step it up a notch. And you're going to actually start putting some pencil lines onto your card so that you can draw in your messages, whether you want to say thank you, happy birthday, whatever it is you're going to put on your cards. And then also, too, we're going to cover how you open up your card like this. We're going to show you how to make your card so that it stands just like this. We're going to show you how you do that, how you fold it open, how you draw some pencil lines on here very lightly, and then you can draw your message in here. Whatever message you want to draw in here and write in here is going to be fine. You can go on the internet. I explain all about going on the internet, finding some messages you might want to put in here. If you're not great with writing, or if you're really good with writing, then you have your own little ideas of what you're going to put down in here, and that's up to you. But we're going to have fun here. We're going to cover it all. Stick with us here, and we'll be right back, and we'll just start with our pencil drawing, and we'll start covering all the ways you're going to create your occasional cards. We're also going to explain how you can stockpile these and make a whole bunch ahead of time and save them, and then you can just fill them in as you need to when you're coming up on some special occasions like holidays or so forth. Okay, so we'll be right back. All right, welcome everybody. It's Chris Petri, and it's time to do another occasional card. I hope you're really excited, and you're going to actually come along with us here. We're going to do some really fantastic work creating our occasional cards. I was just repairing my palette there. It seems to have a bit of an issue with the pin, with the hinges, so I just wanted to get that hinge back set correctly. So I'm going to clean up my palette a little bit here. No big deal, right? We're always cleaning our palette. Good habits with watercolors. You don't want to let your palettes get all mucky and grimy and all full of awful looking messy colors, unless you want to make a really interesting painting with lots of grays and all kinds of mixtures of colors. That works too. So, but for the most part, when we paint here on my channel, I use a lot of fresh colors. I don't use too many gray colors and mixes of colors. But every artist is different, so don't worry. You have fun with your colors and try to figure out what looks best for you, for your watercolors. So here we go. We're going to spritz our watercolors with a little bit of paint, a little bit of water. And then we're doing occasional cards, of course. So you just saw the finished card, the way it looks with the finished painting on it. And then here we're just going to kind of show you the basics of how you're going to start. So the basic just the things is you're going to have a watercolor paper. You're going to want to make it kind of large on one side and shorter on the other. So this is an 11. So I'm just going to, maybe we'll zoom out a little bit here so you can see. So this is a 11 by 7, 11 this way by 7 this way. And then all you do is you fold it in half and crease it like this. And you're careful when you crease it. You align both ends here like that. So you'll align both ends like so, pinch it and hold it, and then you crease it at the end, at the spine where the end is here, like this. And that's a perfect card, just like that. So you remember, you get the two ends together, like so, get them even together, and then you hold them, and then you squeeze it, and you just create your fold like that, and there you have it. And this card can either be a portrait card like this, or a landscape like this. So it's either a portrait format like that, or a landscape format like this. And that's really the basics of it. So once you have this, you're really home free, you're set. You get your card, you put it on your table, and the next thing you're going to do is we're going to use some wide tape for the bottom. This is 2-inch tape, painter's tape. So I just take a piece of 2-inch painter's tape, and then I'm just going to put it on the bottom, and I want to leave myself a lot of white paper at the bottom like that. Okay, can you see how I really used a lot of that tape to tape the bottom off like that? You want to have a wide area of white paper so you can put your message in here. Happy this or that, congratulations, thank you, whatever your message is, you put it here. And then over here you take the tape and you come across this way and this way. And you just tape off a 1-inch. This is drafting tape, or you can use watercolor tape, drafting tape, 1 inch. So it's half the size of this. So this is 1 inch, this is 2 inch. You use your 2 inch at the bottom just to get yourself a good wide portion of white paper at the bottom that you can put your message in. And then after that, you put your 1 inch tape around the three other sides, and that's all you have to do, and that's it. That's it. And now that we have that completed, we will now ask ourselves, what are we going to paint in this? And that's up to you. You can create any painting you want within your occasional card. I'm going to zoom in a little bit like that so you can kind of see a little better. Okay, so for your occasional card, you can put any painting you want in there. You can seascapes, landscapes, cityscapes, figure painting, flowers, portrait paintings, you name it. You can do anything you want. It's up to you. So, and you want to possibly do it according to the occasion. So if it's around the holidays, you might be putting something in that's more religious or something that relates to the holidays. If it's a birthday, maybe the person likes that you're, let's say you're creating a birthday card, the person might like cars, or they might like houses, or they might like the mountains and hiking in the mountains. So you'll create whatever you think is the right painting for that. Or if you want to create cards ahead of time, of course, any kind of holiday you can just imagine. For any religious holiday, there's certain subject matter that you can always paint that's going to look great with your cards. So you could make 10 or 15 of these cards ahead of time for whatever religious holiday you might celebrate, and you'll know what to put in there. So that's pretty much, self-explanatory. So here now what we're going to do is I'm going to say that the person that I'm giving this card to likes the mountains and cabins and things like that, like the outdoors. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to say, okay, let me make a kind of a sloping hill like so, like that. And then I'm going to create a little cabin over here. Look at this, a nice little cabin. A nice cabin like this. Like that. A simple cabin. And a door on the cabin. And then maybe a chimney over here. Maybe another chimney over here too. And there's some bushes around this and trees. We want to have trees and bushes around our cabin. It's the outdoors, so we want to have bushes, trees, interesting landscape features, and then, wow, maybe even we're going to have some water. Why not? Let's have a little lake over here maybe, right? Let's do a little lake over here like that. Like so. So there's a lake coming up here, and maybe some rocks over here. Like that. Some rock formations over here, and some bushes and plants and things over here too as well. And then maybe there's some beautiful mountains in the distance. Okay, and there you have it. We've created a beautiful outdoors landscape type painting. And now we're going to paint it. But before we paint it, I'm going to take a quick break. I always say, please take breaks when you're painting and drawing. It helps, because if you spend a lot of concentration doing a drawing, and then you right away jump into your painting, chances are you're going to start to have troubles with your painting, because you're going to be kind of already tired, and your concentration level is going to be decreasing as you're completing your drawing. And then as you start to go in and grab your paints, you might start mixing incorrect colors. I'm just mentioning this because I've done all this myself plenty of times. So I'm not complaining to you or making a comment that you're not doing the correct thing. All I'm saying is if you take a quick break between your pencil drawing and your painting, you're going to be much better off, because then you can come back fresh and grab your paints and start thinking about your painting portion of your occasional card. After you have a little bit of a break, you might sit down and have a cup of tea. I'm going to have a cup of coffee right now, and then I'll come back and I'll start painting. But I want to take a break first so I'm fresh when I come back and look at things. And I'm going to actually work from a drawing, or a painting. So I'm looking at a painting right now across from me, and I want you to work from my painting once I'm done. So we'll zoom in on my painting when I'm done so you can see what that looks like in an enlarged format on this video, and you can paint right from my painting. Okay, so let's make it clear and simple. Take a couple breaks here and there every once in a while as you're painting through your occasional cards or your compositions you're doing or working on, or your paintings if you're doing some finished paintings. Always take some breaks occasionally as you're working, and it really helps a lot. Trust me, it really does. Okay, so are you ready? We're going to come right back in a second and start painting. So have your stuff ready. Get some fresh, clean water in your pails. Have your brushes ready to go. Figure out which brushes you're going to use. Smaller brushes. It's a smaller format here. And have your fresh paints ready to go. Okay? So we'll be right back. Just in a second, okay? Bye-bye. All right, everybody. We're getting back into the painting here. I hope you'll have a good time taking a break, relaxing a little bit, taking it easy a little bit so that your concentration and your level of awareness is going to be a little better as you start your painting. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to start with my darks first. So this is going to be, you know what, I'm going to actually do the glazing technique on this painting first. Let's do the glazing technique. So what I'm going to do is do a whole wash across the whole painting, let that dry, and then we'll come back and do the darks. Okay, is that all right? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of clean, fresh water on the paper. I'm going to empty my water pail. I noticed that my water pail, the water is not perfectly clear. I need perfectly clear water. So let me do that. Perfectly clear water. And I just put some fresh, clean water on the paper, not everywhere, just here and there, and then we'll get ready and get our colors selected. Let's do cobalt blue, a little bit of purple. Let's do a little bit of yellow ochre up here. Maybe a little bit of alizarin crimson with that. And I think that's good. Alizarin crimson and yellow ochre are warm colors, and then our cool colors, blue and purple. And then let's just get some color on there. Let's get some wash on our paper. And then a little bit of the warm colors too. Put some warm colors in the sky, some warm colors down here. And that is really it. You have it. Can you see that? A little more cobalt blue. Okay. Okay, so once you put that first glazing on like we just did here, that is 100% good. Now all you have to do is let this dry 100%. You can wait 1 hour or 2 hours till it dries, or you could get a blow dryer and just use a blow dryer and maybe 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes at most you'll have this all dry with a blow dryer. So it's up to you. If you want to hurry it along, you can do it that way, or if you want to wait, and you can maybe wait an hour. Probably an hour it would dry enough that you can start working on it again. So the choice is yours. I'm going to take a break now and probably use a blow dryer and dry off this wash so that we can continue working. This is again the glazing technique, so we're doing a wash across the whole paper, and then we're going to do our subsequent washes on top of this, our darker washes, to get that really, really nice look that we're looking for. So I hope you'll join us in just a few minutes as we continue on with our painting. And I'm actually doing the purple mountain here. I think we can get that wash in quickly, like so. Okay, I think that's good. That'll work. All right, so I got my purple mountain here completed. All right, so we'll come right back in just a few minutes. I'm going to use the hair dryer and dry this off, and then we'll start again. Okay, so we'll be right back. All right, everybody, I just used the heat gun, the blow dryer. This is dry to the touch. It's perfect now. We can go over with our second wash. So what I'll do is, now that this is completely dry, you can start doing your subsequent washes, your second wash, your second glazing. So I'm going to start creating my some of the I'm going to take my brush, load it up with green, which is sap green, burnt sienna, a little bit of French ultramarine blue, maybe a little bit of burnt umber. Get a good nice green there. Now if it's too much paint, it's very simple. You grab a tissue, dry your brush off with a little bit of tissue so that you don't have too much paint on there, but it's pretty thick paint. You can see there's not much water on there. Thick, straight paint, basically. And then once you do that, you can see you can get a little more less paint on there. So you can kind of see how I'm doing that. I'll paint around the chimney, so I'm using this pointy number 4 travel brush, the Da Vinci Maestro Pierce Kalinsky 1503 Germany travel brush. And I'm going to do a little alla prima painting here. A little bit of French ultramarine blue, a little darker over here. Like that. Then again, I pick up some more paint, dry off a little bit of the paint with the tissue so I don't have too much paint on my brush, and then like that. Drag the brush across the painting like this. And there's some more over here too, some more trees over here. So I'm dragging the brush across this way. So I'm holding the brush like this and dragging it to the side. And you get that broken look of the colors, and you're not just blobbing it on there with tons of paint. That'll look much better. So do you see that, how that is? And then we're going to do some more over here. Dry off a little bit of the paint on the and we do some bushes over here, and some more trees. And there might be a couple telephone lines going this way. And you can put some darker darks, French ultramarine blue mixed in with that, to get some darker darks under here. And some trunks of trees over here, same thing over here. Okay, so that's good. We have some bushes and trees along this hill. And then I use some of this medium tonal value. I don't want to go too much dark. I want to kind of keep it a little bit lighter. And that's what we do here. We do some lighter washes here where the green grasses are. Like that. Maybe there's some burnt umber where there's some more kind of brownish mixtures there too. We don't want to just stick with one color. Let's mix it up a little bit. And then we have some cerulean blue, French ultramarine blue. We'll just do some rocks over here. More blue, cobalt blue. So we're going to do some cobalt blue, maybe some rock type features. And then maybe some more bushes and some trees over here, and some, maybe there's a happy pine tree over here maybe. So we'll do a pine tree. Pine trees are, branches are kind of level like this. That's all. You just do a couple level lines like that, and that's a good pine tree, just quickly. And again, we're having a fun time here. We're doing some just fun. We'll do the roof. And that's kind of like that purpley color, like in the mountains there. And the light's coming from here, so the side of the house here is in shadow. So we'll just make a little bit of a gray color over here, just to get this side. Like that for the side of this cabin. So we have a little cabin here. And we'll put some shadow on the cabin, maybe a little bit of and there's maybe a little bit of a little window up there like that. Maybe some windows over here, maybe 2 windows. Like that. And there's maybe a little shadow on this side of the chimney over here. And there's a chimney over here too. And I think that is perfect. Look at that, everybody. That looks fantastic. We're already really in great shape here. Burnt umber and French ultramarine blue. For our door over here. And a little more in our windows, a little darker darks. Like that. And that looks fantastic. And if you see some stuff, you know, if you see your paints running and blossoming and blooming out and doesn't look good, just lift it up, press your thumb on there with a tissue, and then you'll come back later and maybe do a shadow across here. We can use that shadow right now, like that. Like that, underneath the eave of the roof. That's good. So we have our shadow over there. And maybe we can get that door in now. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, that looks good. That's all right. All right, so there we have it. We have our foreground with our pine tree. Let's mix a little bit of darks. We want to have some darks here in the foreground. A couple of darker darks here. And a couple more like this. And a little darker darks here. French ultramarine blue and burnt umber. And there we have it. We're just doing some and without going overboard, we don't want to do too much here. A couple splashes. And then what else can we do? A little bit of blue for our water. Like that. Perfect. There we go. All right, so we're going to let this dry a little bit. We'll come right back. We'll peel off the tape. We'll see how it looks. I think you're going to be really happy with doing a nice landscape like this. There's always more information you can add in, but the thing is you probably always want to refrain from doing too much detail, so you can kind of see how I've kept it somewhat somewhat simple. I haven't gone too overboard. Some foreground pine trees here, some trees around this cabin, and I think that's really, there might be a little bit of shadows over here on the for the chimneys here. And I think that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit of shadows over here. Like that. Some shadows over here. Okay, that looks good. All right, so let's come right back. We'll peel off the tape and we'll take a look and see how it looks. All right. Hey, everybody, we're back again, and we're just going to start peeling off our tape here on our occasional card. And you'll see, I think it's going to look really fantastic. I always peel off the tape very carefully, so you want to always go very slow when you peel off your tape. You don't want to rip the paper on your card. So you kind of want to, if you can see that, you want to kind of go on a 45-degree angle like that. Go very slow. Same thing with this, 45-degree angle, go very slow. Hold the paper down super slow, and there we go. And there you have it. Looks absolutely crisp and beautiful. And that's why we do occasional cards, because you can really create some gorgeous looking cards like this. All right, so now we've peeled off the tape. The painting is 90% dry. And we just notice it's going to be in the landscape format like this, so you can set it up on the table like that. Just like that. So that works great. Now, what we'll do is we'll take a little bit of tape, some 1-inch drafting tape like we used before, and we just want to have a little bit of tape across there on the top. Maybe we'll move this up a little bit. Matter of fact, let me move my, let's get this a little bit more so we can kind of take a look a little bit more closely. So there we go. Okay, so now that you have your card done, painting is completed, you lift it off your tape. You just tape it down again one more time, just very loosely on two sides, on both sides, like so. And then all you have to do is just really take a ruler and get yourself a straight line on there for your message that you're going to have. Can you see that? I put a light pencil line there, and you can even do two pencil lines, so that you can write within those two pencil lines, like that. So you make two pencil lines as wide as you want to make your writing. If you want to make your writing really wide, you just make your pencil lines wider. If you want to have your writing a little bit smaller, you keep your pencil lines a little smaller, a little squished down like that. So mine are about 1 centimeter, I would say. Let's take a look. Yeah, my two lines are 1 centimeter apart. Like that. 1 line and 2 lines. And it's sort of centered here. And that's all you have to do. And then you just write in whatever message you want. You can print it. You can do script. What I suggest is you do it in light pencil first. Then once you do it in light pencil, then after that, you take your markers. You might have Sharpie markers, pens, something permanent. So I use either purple Sharpie marker, gray Sharpie marker, black Sharpie marker, red, whatever color you feel like you want to use. You use one of these and you write over your pencil lines. And the thing is, if you write it in pencil first, that means you'll be able to get it just right. You'll get the spelling correct. If you make a mistake with your spelling, you can erase it and correct it. And then once you're perfectly done with your pencil lines, very light pencil lines, then you go over it with your Sharpie marker, and that'll be perfect. And then you just erase off the pencil lines once the Sharpie or pen marks dry. Usually it takes only a couple minutes and they're dry. The Sharpie markers or felt pen markers, whatever you have, or pens. So that's all really. And then the same thing, you just take that same method and you just go into the inside of your card and you flip the card over like this, and then you have your top portion, and you do the same thing. You just tape it off on your working table so that it doesn't move around like that. You tape it down in two sections, up above and down below. And let me see if I can zoom out like that. So you tape it up here, tape it down here, so this way nothing moves. See how that doesn't move anything? Nothing moves. Like that. And then you do the same thing. You take a light pencil line, and you might just make marks, hash marks, and say, okay, I'm going to go every centimeter, I'm going to make a line across my card very lightly. So, and you might start it a little down from the top, and you say, okay, I'm going to go 1 centimeter here, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you go across and you just make a level line across each one very lightly with your pencil. And you do the same thing. You just go right along with each of these lines we just made for each centimeter. Like that. Very light pencil lines though. You don't want to go too dark, because then it's harder to erase those. You're going to erase them once you're done. These pencil lines are only there to give you a level line to do your writing on, so that your writing goes nice and level and straight and looks good. And then last one there, like that. So you can kind of see, probably if I zoom in, you'll see very, very light pencil lines. Barely visible though. You don't want to put them on dark. Light. You want to keep them nice and light. Then you take your message, whatever message you want on here, you can look it up online and say, you'll go online onto the internet and you say, birthday poems, or thank you poems, or thank you messages, or holiday messages. You look up whatever you want, or if you're really good with writing yourself and you kind of have a good gift of the ability to write really nicely, you might have your own things you can write down, your own thoughts, and it would be really pleasant and pleasing as you write your own ideas out. So that's all you do, is you take your pencil very lightly and you print or use your script and you write your card out, whatever you want, whatever message you want in here, in light pencil. Make sure everything's spelled correctly. Then you go in and you go over the top with your Sharpie marker on top of your pencil lines, going over the top of your pencil lines with your Sharpie markers. And then once you're done with that, you erase all the pencil lines once the Sharpie marker dries, which is only about 1 or 2 minutes. And then you just erase everything, and then you have perfectly level writing across your occasional card. It's all done. You sign the bottom, and you're all set. And then you can put that in an envelope, or you can put it in a small bag with some tissue paper, however you want to do that. But that's really how it works. It's perfect. So have fun doing these occasional cards, everybody, okay? Enjoy, and we're going to see you on the next video. And I always mean to say, if this is your first time in my channel here and the first time you're seeing my videos, I want to thank you and welcome you to my channel. Appreciate that you're coming by. And also, too, there's a subscribe button down here on the right-hand side. If you subscribe to my channel, this way, each week and each month that goes by, you're going to get alerts from YouTube saying I've made a new video, and that's all that is. That subscribe button just means you're going to get notifications that I've made a new video. Nothing else. There's no other gimmicks to it. Just let you know I've made a new video, and this way you can watch and paint along with us, draw, paint, have a good time with us. We're creating all kinds of great paintings here on this channel. We do nothing but watercolors. This is sort of a little bit of an offbeat type of video we do. Once in a while we do occasional cards. This way everyone gets the idea of how to create occasional cards. These are a great way to practice your watercolors, and at the same time you're saving yourself some money. You're making your own cards. And also, too, people love occasional cards that you make personally yourself with watercolors. They love that. You made it yourself. It's not like you went to the store and bought it, even though those are great, too. Everyone loves those. But, if you've even made one, you've created one yourself using your watercolor paintings, people really appreciate those. I think a little more than the regular card you would buy at a store. I think that's the kind of the feel I get, but you have to try it out with the people that you're going to give your card to, see what their feedback is and how they react to it. But I know people really enjoy these type of cards. They're homemade occasional cards like this. Okay, so we'll see you on the next video. Please subscribe again on the right hand side there. There's a subscribe button. This way at least you can follow along with me. We're having lots of fun on this channel. Everyone's really doing really good work here. I get emails all the time. People send me their paintings and they're looking wonderful. I oftentimes don't know if they're sending me my painting or their painting. So people are painting at such a good level and really picking up on things that it's, they're really progressing quite nicely, I would have to say. So stick with me. You'll be progressing, doing a great job with your watercolors, learning a lot. And all I can do is, say thank you for coming by and watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.